A late strike from Rachel Williams helped Manchester United triumph over Brighton to reach the Women's FA Cup final for the first time in the club's history. Both sides have encountered contrasting fortunes in the Women's Super League this term, with United currently residing at the top of the table and Brighton sitting rock bottom. Mark Skinner's side romped to a 4-0 victory over their semi-final opponents last time out before the international break. However, the Seagulls travelled to Leigh Sports Village on Saturday buoyed by the appointment of new head coach Melissa Phillips. It was United who had the first chance of the game, with Ella Toone blazing an effort over the bar after a dangerous delivery from captain Katie Zalem. However, Brighton soaked up the pressure well and looked dangerous on the break, with England youngster Katie Robinson's superb cutback into the penalty area diverted to safety by Millie Turner. The hosts soon began to assert their dominance, though, with Brighton keeper Lydia Williams called into action to palm away Alessia Russo's smartly struck volley before smothering Leah Galton's goal-bound header to safety. But it was a goalkeeping error at the other end of the pitch that broke the deadlock, Mary Earps fumbling the ball into her own net after Beatrice Serra's cross into the 6-yard box. However, United restored parity less than a minute into the second half, with Leah Galton coolly dispatching one battles-inch perfect ball into the back of the net. And Alessia Russo soon capitalized on a spell of United pressure. The England forward rifled the ball into the top corner to put the hosts within touching distance of Wembley before Daniel Carter's composed finish just minutes later set up a grandstand finish at Leigh Sports Village. Ultimately, it was United's strength in depth that proved decisive, with substitute Rachel Williams slotting the ball home to send the Reds to next month's FA Cup final. When United disbanded their women's team in 2005, the prospect of battling for silverware in front of a baying Wembley crowd was scarcely conceivable. Now, 5 years since their reformation, United are just 90 minutes away from adding one of the women's game's most coveted prizes to their trophy cabinet. While there will of course be plenty of obstacles for the Reds to overcome if they are to realise their ambitions of becoming both FA Cup and Women's Super League champions, they at last have an outfit that looks capable of competing at Europe's top table. The mentality from my players has to be to hunt any team that stands in the way of our success from now until the end of the season. Those were the words of manager Mark Skinner in his pre-match press conference earlier this week. In the modern game, mentality is one of the football buzzwords that seems to diminish in substance with every recurring utterance. But the need for United to keep a clear head and provide a swift response to adversity was paramount on Saturday afternoon. United sides of the past might have crumbled after falling behind to such an anomalous goalkeeping error, particularly considering how much the Reds had dominated the contest for much of the first half. But, against Brighton, Skinner's side showed they'd learned from past mistakes and exhibited the kind of mental resilience that will be key if they are to achieve their ultimate aims in the coming weeks. When Mary Earps spilled the ball at the feet of Andressa Alves in the dying seconds of England's finalissima clash with Brazil, her aura of infallibility was dented. However, on that occasion, the United keeper quickly atoned for her error by saving from Tamires in the shootout to earn the Lionesses their fourth trophy under Sarina Wegman. It's the sort of mental fortitude United fans have come to expect from their No. 27 but, for the second time in just 10 days, Earp's rare misstep proved costly, with the shotstopper palming Beatrice Saris' cross into the back of her own net. However, as she did against Brazil, Earps looked determined not to let the adversity faze her. The 30-year-old cut a solitary figure as she emerged onto the pitch for the second half, a good 5 minutes before the rest of her teammates to undertake some last-minute drills. And she quickly showed her class, tipping Giulia Zagotti's ferocious strike over the bar to keep Brighton at bay. Alessia Russo came under some scrutiny in the most recent international break, with the United striker's lack of a cutting edge in front of goal prompting many to question whether she is the right person to shoulder the responsibility of being England's first-choice number 9. Brighton did well in the first half to nullify the threat posed by Russo and her fellow forwards, with the 24-year-old's only real contribution of note coming when her volleyed effort was palmed to safety by Lydia Williams. However, like all good strikers, Russo stayed patient, and when Katie Zalem threaded the ball through to her in the penalty area, she made no mistake with an emphatic finish into the top corner.